The rise of Ivan Ascendisel and the struggle for Constantinople. Close your eyes and imagine a world where empires rise and fall like the tides, where alliances are forged in the heat of battle and shattered by the cold hand of betrayal. A world where the fate of nations rests on the shoulders of a few daring men, and where the dream of glory can either elevate a ruler to immortality or condemn him to obscurity. This is the story of Ivan Ascentu, the Bulgarian Tsar, who dared to dream afar, restoring the Eastern Roman Empire. But could he outmaneuver his rivals, survive the onslaught of the Mongols, and claim the throne of Constantinople? Or would his ambitions crumble under the weight of betrayal, plague, and a relentless march of history? Join me as we unravel this epic tale of power, strategy, and survival. A story that will leave you questioning what you would have done in his place. The stage is set. A world in chaos. The early 13th century was a time of unparalleled upheaval. The Balkans and beyond, the Fourth Crusade, which had begun as a holy mission to reclaim Jerusalem, had taken a dark turn in 1204 when the Crusaders sacked Constantinople, the heart of the Eastern Roman Empire. In its place, they established the Latin Empire, a fragile entity ruled by a patchwork of Western European nobles. But the Latin Empire was a shadow of its Byzantine predecessor, rife with internal strife and external threats. The Balkans became a battleground with rival powers, vying for dominance. Two dynasties emerged as the primary contenders to restore the Eastern Roman Empire: the Asans of Bulgaria and the Lascaris of Nicaea. Both sought to reclaim Constantinople, but only one could prevail. Enter Ivan Ascendisel, the ruler of a second Bulgarian Tsardom, a man whose ambition and cunning would shape the course of history. Ivan Ascendisel, the master strategist. Ivan Ascendisel was no ordinary ruler. Born into the Asen dynasty, he inherited a kingdom that was Western, still recovering from decades of conflict. But Ivan Asen was a visionary. He understood that, to survive in this volatile world, he needed to expand his power and secure his borders. His first major victory came in 1230 at the Battle of Pelagonia, where he decisively defeated the Despotate of Epirus. This victory not only solidified his power, but also extended Bulgaria's borders from Thessaly to Belgrade and from Dyrrhachium to Adrianople. For a brief moment, it seemed as though Bulgaria was on the verge of becoming the dominant power in the region. But Ivan Asen's ambitions extended far beyond Bulgaria. He dreamed of restoring the Eastern Roman Empire, a vision that was reflected in the imperial symbols he minted on his coins. To achieve this, he knew he would need to outmaneuver his rivals, forge strategic alliances, and above all, seize Constantinople. The road to Constantinople, a web of alliances and betrayals. The path to Constantinople was fraught with challenges. The Latin Empire, though weakened, was not yet defeated. John of Brienne, the regent of Constantinople, had bolstered the city's defenses with fresh troops and Venetian support. Meanwhile, Ivan Asen sought alliances with other Orthodox powers, including Serbia and Nicaea. His marriage to the daughter of Serbian King Stefan Vladislav created a bulwark against Hungarian expansion and the Cumans, a nomadic tribe that had recently broken away from Bulgarian influence. 1235, Ivan Ascentu and John III, Vatases of Nicaea, laid siege to Constantinople. The city, defended by a small garrison and 160 knights, seemed ripe for the taking. But the Latin Empire's allies, particularly Venice, responded swiftly. 25 galleys reinforced the city, and John of Brienne's leadership proved decisive. Despite multiple assaults, the siege was broken, and the Bulgarian Nician forces were forced to retreat. Desperate to achieve his dream, he shifted his alliances, breaking ties with Nicaea and aligning with the Latins. He even began correspondence with the Pope, exploring the possibility of reconverting to Catholicism. But these actions came at a cost. The Bulgarian nobility, deeply Orthodox, viewed his overtures to Rome with suspicion. Meanwhile, the Mongols, who had already devastated Kiev and Rus, were advancing westward, threatening to engulf the entire region. The Mongol threat, a new enemy, emerges. The arrival of the Mongols added another layer of complexity to Ivan Asen's reign. These fierce warriors, led by the legendary Genghis Khan and his successors, had already carved out the largest empire the world had ever seen. By the 1230s, they were advancing into Eastern Europe, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Ivan Asen knew that he could not afford to ignore this new threat. He had to balance his imperial ambitions with the need to defend his realm against a formidable enemy. Historians have often debated whether Ivan Asen's alliance with the Latins was a strategic miscalculation or a necessary gamble. On one hand, it alienated his Orthodox allies and weakened his position within Bulgaria. On the other hand, it provided a temporary respite from the Mongol threat and allowed him to focus on his ultimate goal, the restoration of the Eastern Roman Empire. This tension between ambition and pragmatism is a recurring theme in Asen's reign and offers valuable lessons for understanding the dynamics of power in medieval Europe. The legacy of Ivan Asen II, Ivan Asetu's reign, is a fascinating study in the complexities of medieval diplomacy and warfare. Ability to expand Bulgaria's borders while navigating the treacherous waters of regional politics is a testament to his skill as a ruler. However, his decision to abandon his alliance with Nicaea and court the Latins highlights the precarious nature of power in the 13th century. The Mongols' arrival added another layer of complexity, forcing Asen to balance his imperial ambitions with the need to defend his realm against a new and formidable enemy. What can we learn from Ivan Asen's story? Perhaps the most important lesson is that ambition, while a powerful motivator, must be tempered by pragmatism. Ivan Asen's dream of restoring the Eastern Roman Empire was noble, but it ultimately proved to be his undoing. His willingness to shift alliances and adapt to changing circumstances is a testament to his political acumen. But it also underscores the challenges of ruling in a world where power is constantly in flux. Engaging the audience. What would you have done? As we reflect on Ivan Asen II's reign, it's worth asking ourselves, what would we have done in his position? Would we have risked alienating our allies to pursue a dream of imperial glory? Or would we have focused on consolidating our power and defending our realm against the Mongols? These are questions that resonate not just in the context of medieval history, but in our own lives as well. How do we balance ambition with pragmatism? How do we navigate the complexities of power and politics in a world that is constantly changing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Would you have followed in Ivan Asen's footsteps? Or would you have chosen a different path? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into history's most fascinating figures and events, expanding the narrative. A deeper dive into the 13th century. To truly understand Ivan Asen's story, we need to delve deeper into the world of the 13th century. This was a time of profound transformation, not just in the Balkans, but across the globe. The Mongol Empire was reshaping the political landscape of Asia and Europe, while the Crusades were altering the balance of power in the Middle East. In Europe, the rise of nation-states was beginning to challenge the old feudal order, while the Catholic Church was exerting its influence over kings and emperors. Against this backdrop, Ivan Asen's ambitions take on a new significance. His dream of restoring the Eastern Roman Empire was not just a personal quest for glory. It was a reflection of the broader struggle for power and identity in a rapidly changing world. By examining his reign in this context, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the challenges he faced and the decisions he made. The enduring legacy of Ivan Asen. The Soy Ivan Asen Toy. Ivan Asen as survival. It is a reminder that history is not just a series of events, but a complex web of human decisions and actions. As we look back on his reign, we are reminded of the enduring power of dreams and the challenges of turning those dreams into reality. Whether we view Ivan Asen II as a hero or a tragic figure, his legacy continues to captivate and inspire us, offering valuable lessons for our own lives and times. Thank you for joining me on this journey through history. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. And as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think of Ivan Asen II's story? What lessons do you take away from his reign? I look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, keep exploring the past and keep dreaming of the future. The Mongol onslaught and the fall of Bulgaria. Imagine this. It's the 13th century and the world is trembling under the hooves of Mongol horses. From the steppes of Central Asia to the heart of Europe, the Mongols are rewriting the rules of conquest. But in the Balkans, a young empire stands at a crossroads. Bulgaria, under the visionary Ivan Asentusa, has risen to prominence, but now faces its greatest challenge yet. The Mongol horde. Will Bulgaria survive the storm? Or will it be swept into the annals of forgotten empires? This is not just a story of war and destruction. It's a story of resilience, strategy, and the indomitable human spirit. So, buckle up, because we're diving deep into one of history's most pivotal yet overlooked chapters. The rise of Bulgaria and the gathering storm. By the late 1230s, Bulgaria was a rising star in the Balkans. Under Ivan Asen II, the Second Bulgarian Empire had reached its zenith, stretching from the Black Sea to the Adriatic, forging alliances, expanding territories, and even minting coins with his image, a bold statement of his ambition. But as the saying goes, the higher you climb, the harder you fall, the harder you fall, and fall Bulgaria would, though not without a fight. Meanwhile, far to the east, the Mongol Empire was consolidating its dominance over Eurasia. After crushing the Kievan Rus and subjugating the Caucasus, the Mongols set their sights on Europe. Their advance was relentless, their tactics brutal. The Cumans, a nomadic tribe that had once been instrumental in Bulgaria's rise, fled westward ahead of the Mongol tide, spreading chaos in their wake. Ivan Asen, ever the pragmatist, saw an opportunity. He hired some of these displaced Cumans to bolster his army, hoping to turn the tide in his favor. But even this move would prove insufficient against the Mongol juggernaut. The death of Ivan Asen II and the Mongol onslaught in 1241. Tragedy struck. The architect of Ivan Asen II, the architect of Bulgaria's golden age, dies suddenly, leaving his 7-year-old son, Kaliman, to inherit the throne. The timing couldn't have been worse. That same year, the Mongols, led by Batu Khan, swept through Hungary and Poland, leaving a trail of devastation. Now, they turned their gaze southward toward the Balkans. Bulgaria, already weakened by internal strife and the loss of its charismatic leader, was ill-prepared for what was coming. The Mongols were masters of psychological warfare. They spread rumors of betrayal and desertion, sowing discord among their enemies. Their tactics were as innovative as they were terrifying. Feigned retreats to lure enemies into traps, lightning-fast cavalry charges, and a ruthless efficiency that left no room for error. Cities like Vidin, Tarnovo, and Preslav fell one after another. The countryside was laid waste, its people either slaughtered or enslaved. The Bulgarian Regency, desperate to save what remained of the state, agreed to pay an annual tribute to the Mongols, now organized as the Golden Horde. It was a humiliating concession, but survival came at a price. The wider impact. A region in turmoil. The Mongol invasion didn't just affect Bulgaria. It sent shockwaves across the entire region. The Latin Empire, already struggling to maintain its grip on Constantinople, saw an opportunity to reclaim lost territories. Baldwin the young Latin emperor, embarked on a tour of Europe, selling precious artifacts to fund a crusade. But his efforts were in vain. The Mongols had fundamentally altered the balance of power, and no amount of gold or knights could turn back the clock. What's fascinating is how the Mongols adapted their strategies to different terrains and enemies. In the Balkans, they exploited the region's political fragmentation, pitting rival factions against each other. They understood that conquest wasn't just about brute force. It was about psychology, diplomacy, and timing. This adaptability is what made them such formidable conquerors. The Mongol legacy and Bulgaria's decline. The Mongol invasion of the Balkans is often overshadowed by their campaigns in China and the Middle East, but its impact was profound. For Bulgaria, it marked the beginning of a long decline. The once mighty Tsardom was reduced to a tributary state, its internal cohesion shattered. The regent-sized decision to pay tribute, while pragmatic, further eroded Bulgaria's sovereignty and set the stage for future conflicts. But let's not overlook the Mongols' role in shaping the region's history. Their invasion disrupted existing power structures, creating opportunities for new players to emerge. Also facilitated cultural exchanges, as the Mongols brought with them ideas, technologies, and even diseases that would reshape the medieval world. Engaging the audience, what made the Mongols unstoppable? Now here's a question for you. How do you think the Mongols were able to conquer such vast territories with relative ease? Was it their military tactics, their leadership, or something else? Some historians argue that their success lay in their ability to adapt and innovate. Others point to their ruthless efficiency and psychological warfare. What's your take? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Expanding the narrative, a deeper dive into Mongol tactics. To truly understand the Mongol onslaught, we need to delve deeper into their tactics. Take, for example, their use of feigned retreats. This wasn't just a random strategy. It was a carefully calculated move designed to exploit the overconfidence of their enemies. By luring opponents into a false sense of security, the Mongols could strike with devastating precision. Another key factor was their mobility. Mongol warriors were expert horsemen, capable of covering vast distances in a short amount of time. This gave them a significant advantage over more sedentary armies, which often struggled to keep up. But perhaps the most underappreciated aspect of Mongol warfare was their use of intelligence. They had an extensive network of spies and scouts who provided crucial information about enemy movements and terrain. This allowed them to plan their campaigns with a level of detail that was unheard of at the time. The human cost. Stories from the ground. While it's easy to focus on the big picture, we mustn't forget the human cost of the Mongol invasion. Imagine being a farmer in 13th century Bulgaria, tending to your fields one day, only to see a cloud dust on the horizon the next. Within hours, your village is overrun, your family slaughtered or taken captive. This was the reality for countless people across the Balkans. But amid the devastation, there were stories of resilience. Some communities banded together, forming makeshift militias to defend their homes. Others fled to the mountains, where they could regroup and plan their next move. These acts of defiance, though small in the grand scheme of things, are a testament to the human spirit. Lessons from history. The Mongol invasion of Bulgaria is more than just a historical event. It's a cautionary tale about the fragility of power and the importance of adaptability. Ivan Asenti's empire, for all its glory, was no match for the Mongol horde. But in its downfall, we find valuable lessons about leadership, strategy, and the enduring human will to survive. So, what do you think? Could Bulgaria have withstood the Mongol onslaught under different circumstances? Or was its fate sealed the moment the Mongols set their sights on the Balkans? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into history, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Until next time, stay curious. Until next time, the rise of Nicaea and the fall of the Latin Empire. Picture this. It's the 13th century, and the once mighty Byzantine Empire lies in ruins. Constantinople, the jewel of the East, has fallen to the Fourth Crusade, and the Latin Empire reigns supreme, or so it seems. But in the shadows, a phoenix is rising from the ashes. The Empire of Nicaea, led by the brilliant John III Vatatzes, is quietly rebuilding, forging alliances, and biding its time. The question is, can Nicaea reclaim Constantinople and restore the glory of the Eastern Roman Empire? Or will the Latins and their allies crush this resurgence before it can take flight? This is a story of resilience, strategy, and the unyielding spirit of a people determined to reclaim their destiny. So, let's dive into one of history's most dramatic comebacks, the fall of Constantinople and the birth of Nicaea. The year is 1204, and the unthinkable has happened. Constantinople, the heart of the Byzantine Empire, has been sacked by the Knights of the Fourth Crusade. The city is looted, its treasures scattered, and its people humiliated. The Latin Empire is established, and the Byzantine world is fractured into rival states. The Despotate of Epirus, the Empire of Nicaea, located in northwestern Anatolia, becomes the center of Byzantine resistance, begins to rebuild. But this is no easy task. The Latins control Constantinople. The Venetians dominate the seas, and the Seljuk Turks loom to the east. Yet, despite these challenges, Nicaea thrives, resilient, and its location strategically advantageous. By the time John III Vatasis ascends the throne in 1202, Nicaea is ready to take center stage. John III Vatasis, the architect of Byzantine revival. John III Vatasis is one of those rare leaders who combines vision with action. He's not just a warrior, he's a statesman, a diplomat, and a reformer. His first priority is to consolidate Nicaea's territories in Anatolia, securing the empire's eastern flank against the Seljuks. Then turns his attention to the west, forging alliances with other Orthodox states, including Bulgaria. In 1235, John III marries Irene, the daughter of Bulgarian Tsar Ivan SN. This marriage is more than a political alliance. It's a masterstroke of diplomacy. It not only strengthens ties between Nicaea and Bulgaria, but also isolates the Latin Empire, which is already struggling to maintain its grip on Constantinople. But John III's ambitions don't stop there. He understands that to reclaim Constantinople, Nicaea must first control Thrace, the region surrounding the city. In 1246, he launches a campaign to do just that. With the support of Bulgarian and Cuman forces, he captures key fortresses along the Via Egnatia, the ancient Roman road that connects Constantinople to the Adriatic. The Latin Empire, weakened by the Mongol invasion and internal strife, can offer little resistance. The Mongol factor, a double-edged sword. Speaking of the Mongols, their role in this drama cannot be overstated. By the mid-13th century, the Mongols have become the dominant power in Eurasia. The invasion of Eastern Europe has left the Latin Empire and its allies in disarray. For Nicaea, this is both an opportunity and a threat. On one hand, the Mongols' destruction of Bulgaria and Hungary weakens Nicaea's rivals, allowing John III to expand his influence. On the other hand, the Mongols themselves are a looming presence, and their unpredictable nature makes them a wildcard in the region's geopolitics. John III treads carefully, avoiding direct confrontation while exploiting the chaos the Mongols have created. Theodore Lascaris II, a fragile succession. By 1254, John III has established Nicaea as the dominant power in the region, but his death that same year marks the beginning of a new chapter, one fraught with challenges. His son, Theodore Lascaris II, inherits the throne, but he lacks his father's political acumen and military prowess. Theodore's reign is marked by internal strife and external threats. His decision to elevate a hermit to the patriarchy alienates the traditional aristocracy, leading to internal discord. Meanwhile, the Mongols remain a looming presence, and the Latin Empire, though weakened, is not yet defeated. Despite these challenges, Theodore continues his father's policies, further expanding Nicaea's territories and consolidating its control over Thrace. But the cracks are beginning to show. The cracks are beginning to show. Tension between innovation and tradition, a recurring theme in Byzantine history, becomes increasingly apparent. The resilience of the Byzantine spirit. The rise of Nicaea is a testament to the resilience of the Byzantine spirit. Despite the loss of Constantinople, the Byzantines are able to regroup and rebuild under the leadership of the Lascaris dynasty. John III Vatasis' ability to forge alliances and exploit the weaknesses of his enemies is a key factor in Nicaea's success. Theodore Lascaris III's reign highlights the challenges of maintaining a fragile empire. His reliance on non-noble advisors and his alienation of the traditional aristocracy underscore the delicate balance of power in the medieval world. Reminder that even the most successful empires are vulnerable to internal discord. Engaging the audience. Could Nicaea have succeeded without the Mongols? Now, here's a question for you. Do you think the Byzantines could have restored their empire without the Mongol invasion, weakening their enemies? Or was the rise of Nicaea inevitable? Some historians argue that the Mongols' destruction of Bulgaria and Hungary created the perfect conditions for Nicaea's resurgence. Others believe that John III's leadership and diplomacy would have prevailed regardless. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Expanding the narrative. the role of diplomacy and strategy. To truly understand Nice's rise, we need to delve deeper into the role of diplomacy and strategy. John III Vatatzes was a master of both. His marriage to Irene of Bulgaria not only secured an important alliance, but also isolated the Latin Empire. His campaigns in Thrace were meticulously planned, leveraging the region's strategic importance to weaken the Latins. But diplomacy alone wasn't enough. John III also understood the importance of military innovation. He reformed Nice's army, incorporating elements of Mongol tactics, such as mobility and psychological warfare. This adaptability is what set Nice apart from its rivals. While it's easy to focus on the big picture, we mustn't forget the human cost of this struggle. Imagine being a peasant in 13th century Thrace, caught between the advancing forces of Nice and the retreating Latins, pillaged, your family displaced, and your future uncertain. This was the reality for countless people across the region. But amid the devastation, there were stories of resilience. Their homes, others fled to the mountains, where they could regroup and plan their next move. These acts of defiance, though small in the grand scheme of things, are a testament to the human spirit. Lessons from history. The rise of Nicaea and the fall of the Latin Empire is more than just a historical event. It's a lesson in resilience, strategy, and the enduring human will to survive. John III Vatatzes' leadership and diplomacy offer valuable insights into the dynamics of power in the medieval world. But Theodore Lascaris' treatise reign serves as a cautionary tale about the fragility of even the most successful empires. So, what do you think? Could Nice have reclaimed Constantinople without the Mongols? Or was their rise a product of circumstance? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into history, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. The restoration of the Eastern Roman Empire. Imagine this. It's 1261, and the impossible has just happened. Constantinople, the queen of cities, the heart of the Byzantine Empire, has been reclaimed after nearly 6 decades of Latin rule. Streets are alive with celebration, but beneath the surface, tensions simmer. Michael VIII Palaiologos, the man behind this historic victory, now faces an empire on the brink. Internal strife, external threats, and the ever-looming shadow of Thebes, Mongols threaten to undo everything he has achieved. Can the Palaiologos dynasty, the last rulers of Byzantium, navigate these treacherous waters and restore the empire to its former glory? Or will their reign mark the beginning of the end? This is the story of triumph, tragedy, and the final chapter of one of history's greatest empires. Let's dive in. The reclamation of Constantinople. A moment of triumph. The year is 1261, and Michael VIII Palaiologos has just achieved what many thought impossible. With a combination of cunning strategy and sheer audacity, his forces have retaken Constantinople from the Latins. The city, once the jewel of the Byzantine Empire, is back in Byzantine hands of the restored Roman Empire. And for a moment, it seems as though the glory of Byzantium has been resurrected. But this victory is not without controversy. Michael's decision to blind his co-emperor, John IV Lascaris, and banish him to a monastery sends shockwaves through the empire. Many see this as a betrayal, and the patriarch excommunicates Michael for his actions. The seeds of internal discord are sown, and they will haunt the Palaiologos dynasty for generations. 8. The architect of restoration. Michael VIII is a man of contradictions. On one hand, he is a brilliant strategist and a master of diplomacy. On the other, his ruthless actions alienate key allies and create lasting divisions within the empire. Despite these challenges, Michael works tirelessly to consolidate his power and rebuild the empire. One of his first moves is to sign a treaty with Genoa, counterbalancing the influence of Venice, which had supported the Latin Empire. This alliance gives Byzantium access to much-needed naval power and trade routes. Michael also focuses on rebuilding Constantinople's defenses. which had been neglected during the Latin occupation. He repairs the city's walls, strengthens its fortifications, and restores its infrastructure. But Michael's ambitions don't stop there. He launches campaigns to reclaim lost territories in Greece and the Balkans, seeking to restore Byzantium to its former glory. However, the empire's resources are stretched thin, and the Mongols remain a constant threat. Michael must navigate a delicate balance between expansion and survival. The Mongol shadow. A looming threat, the Mongols, under the leadership of the Golden Horde, are a wild card in this drama. Their vast empire stretches from Eastern Europe to Central Asia, and their influence is felt across the region. For Michael VIII, the Mongols are both a threat and a potential ally. He carefully avoids direct confrontation, while exploiting the chaos they create for his enemies. But the Mongols are unpredictable. Their race into Byzantine territory are a constant reminder of their power, and their alliances shift with the wind, carefully, knowing that one misstep could bring disaster. The Palaeologos dynasty. A legacy of struggle, the Palaeologos dynasty would go on to rule Byzantium for nearly 2 centuries, but their reign is marked by constant struggle. Michael VIII's successors face a series of challenges that test the empire's resilience. Internal strife, economic decline, and external threats from the Ottomans, Serbs, and Bulgarians chip away at Byzantium's strength. Despite these challenges, the Palaiologos emperors managed to hold on to Constantinople and maintain a semblance of imperial authority. They continue to play a role in the complex web of medieval diplomacy, forging alliances and navigating the shifting political landscape. The empire's decline is gradual and inevitable, triumph and tragedy. The restoration of the Eastern Roman Empire is a story of triumph and tragedy. Michael VIII's ability to reclaim Constantinople is a testament to his skill as a leader and a strategist. His reign marks a high point in Byzantine history, a moment when the empire's fortunes seem to turn. But Michael's legacy is also one of missed opportunities and internal discards, and his decision to blind John IV Lascaris and his excommunication by the Patriarch highlight the challenges of governing a fragmented and resource-starved empire. The Palaiologos dynasty's inability to reverse Byzantium decline offers valuable lessons about the importance of unity, resource management, and adaptability in the face of external threats. Engaging the audience, what led to Byzantium decline? Now, here's a question for you. What do you think was the key factor in the decline of the Byzantine Empire? Was it internal strife, external threats, or something else? Some historians argue that the empire's fragmentation and lack of resources were its downfall. Others point to the rise of the Ottomans and the failure of Byzantine diplomacy. What's your take? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Expanding the narrative. The role of diplomacy and strategy. To truly understand the restoration of the Eastern Roman Empire, we need to delve deeper into the role of diplomacy and strategy. Michael VIII was a master of both. His treaty with VIII was a master of both. Genoa not only counterbalanced Venetian influence, but also secured vital trade routes and naval support. His campaigns to reclaim lost territories were meticulously planned, leveraging the empire's limited resources to maximum effect. But diplomacy alone wasn't enough. Michael also understood the importance of military innovation. He reformed the Byzantine army, incorporating elements of Mongol tactics and focusing on mobility and flexibility. This adaptability is what allowed Byzantium to survive as long as it did. The human cost, stories from the ground. While it's easy to focus on the big picture, we mustn't forget the human cost of this struggle. Imagine being a citizen of Constantinople in 1261, witnessing the return of Byzantine rule after decades of Latin occupation. The city is in ruins, its people impoverished, and its future uncertain. This was the reality for countless people across the empire. But amid the devastation, there were stories of resilience. Some communities banded together, rebuilding their homes and livelihoods. Others fled to the countryside, seeking refuge from the constant warfare. These acts of defiance, though small in the grand scheme of things, are a testament to the human spirit. Lessons from history. The restoration of the Eastern Roman Empire is more than just a historical event. It's a lesson in resilience, strategy, and the enduring human will to survive. Michael Vate's leadership and diplomacy offer valuable insights into the dynamics of power in the medieval world. But the Palaiologos dynasty's ultimate failure serves as a cautionary tale about the fragility of even the most successful empires. So, what do you think? Could Byzantium have reversed its decline under different circumstances? Or was its fate sealed by the time Michael VIII reclaimed Constantinople? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into history, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Until next time, stay curious. Until next time, stay curious.